iVapour Elixir proudly sponsors Smoke to Vape on Saturday. Hi everybody, Andy here, Smoke to Vape on Saturday. It's the second show and it's live. Well, you're watching it live, sort of. This is a pre-recorded show because this is my birthday weekend and I'm actually in Bournemouth, probably eating a curry right now. So thanks for tuning in. I've got a jam-packed show for you. On the show tonight, I've got the second page of my rebuildable diary. I've also got a juice review. Nutty, maybe? You'll have to wait and see. That rhymed. I'm a poet, and I know it. What else? Oh yes, yesterday I spent a day on a website. No, it wasn't a website. It was Safercigs. They have got a website, but they've also got a shop. I went all the way to Blandford Forum, about 70 miles, and had a fantastic day with Daz. He's got a brand new store. So all that and a load more coming up in this show. But first, let's get on with it, shall we? Let's see my rebuildable diary part 2. It is wicking time. I am going to re-wick my Cyclon V2. I've already cleaned all the bits. Got a bit missing. There he is. So it's all clean. It's all ready to go. I'm got all my kit of parts there. A wire and my pliers and my screwdriver and the old bent gnarled wick that came out of it. So it's time to get kinky with wire. I have seen some comments online where people say it's tricky to re-wick, and they are right. Okay, so here we have the top section. Here we have the tank that I've just cleaned out. Here we have the sort of mid-section with the hole that has the wick going through it. And here's the base section where your wick sits in that little tiny hole just there. Now this is a cut down wick because I also read on the forums that shorter the wick the better the wicking, and that certainly was true. So I'm going to probably go another couple of mil longer than that. And that's one thing that I would say it's really important to keep organised. First couple of goes there were bits of wire everywhere, so I'm going to find a piece of this stainless steel mesh that is going to suit my requirements, and I think that is where I'm going to cut there. I forgot the key point of this is scissors. Don't need to be too precise, I don't think. You just whack a lump off, really. You know, I would say that's probably it. That's going to be the length there, you see. So that's fine. So let's get winding this wick. I was in Tesco the other day and I found this really impressively big needle. Now it's not going to be this thick when we're finished, but it just gets the wind going. Now also the important thing is to try and get it as straight as you can from the get-go. So there is a very chubby wick. Now to get it to tighten up, you just keep rolling it between your fingers. You'll find the way that it needs to go to tighten up. So there's my finished wick and it's ready to be oxidized. So what we'll do is we'll get out a paper clip and just thread that on like so. Now we go to fire. Best not to do it when the blowtorch is lit either. otherwise. It's a chef's blowtorch. Needless to say, very hot. Be careful. It's probably best to hold it with pliers. Made that mistake the first time I did it. I will tell you, it was quite warm. And all we do is we just give it a quick burn. So we can see it's changing colour quite nicely. And I just let that go out, it's a little puff of smoke, and that basically is putting a layer of carbon on the stainless steel. So the idea is the stainless steel doesn't conduct electricity. Right, so that's now very hot. So I'm going to very carefully move it off the paperclip, put the paperclip far away, and there we have the wick, darkened by flame. The paperclip has cooled down quite considerably. No, it's cool, it's fine. And we get our canthal wire. Now the canthal wire comes on a spool like this. I got this from the meshcompany.co.uk. They're not really an e-cig supplier as such, but they have realised that there's a market out there and they are selling it. My one complaint is that this wire has got kinks in it because of this bobbin thing. So, you know, I prefer a spool, but you know, it hasn't given me much trouble. But in the quest for no hotspots, kinky wire isn't your friend. And I decide which end is going to be my coil end, and I think I'm going to go for this end here. And what I normally do as well is I just snip off the top bit into a bit of a sort of arrow, and it's time to start winding the coils. Get it as close to the bottom as I can. The reason I keep it on the paper clip is it just gives you the ability to keep some tension and it won't bend the wick. Right, so winding them around is the trickiest bit, and I've got too many coils on here, but for me, I know I'm going to use this on a kick device, so I know the kick is going to help me out quite a lot to get consistency. I've got way too many, so I'm going to take a couple off and then end up with about 4. The time has come to join it to the bottom base bit, and I just find it easier to work with that bottom section off. The actual atomizer connector I take off. Having that flat enables you to work on it quite easily. Now what I'll do is I'll just put just a drop or two of juice on there and let it sit in the juice for a bit. And that sort of sets it to the coil. So that's just the juice burning off it, but that also helps, I find, with hotspots as well. So you want that bottom wire to be as straight as you can, and because you've run it through a lighter, it's much less springy now. Holding that wire, see? So just holding that with my finger. Now I'm going to tighten that screw up. So that is it set, that is it ready to go, screwed onto the base, and now I'm going to put it onto a device and run it as low as possible. So this is at 3.3 and I'm just going to pulse it. See it bubbling away there. One thing with pulsing on an MVP is you keep switching the damn thing off. After a little while, just give it a good burn just to see if you've got any hot spots. So I think that's just about there. I'm just going to raise the voltage to probably about 4 volts because I have got quite a few coils on this. Seems to be running okay. Okay, time to put this thing back together. Dunk and push. Like that. I think that looks lovely. That's a nice looking device with a metal drip tip. Great. Oh, that is hitting really hard. 36 milligrams. Great flavour. Tends to get better. Next couple of days, it'll start to bed in that wick. Very, very nice. Good stuff. Right, so that was my kinky guide to recoiling the Cyclon V2. Next time, I'll be looking at the Cobra and the joys that holds. Yes, and the Cobra is exactly what I've got in my hand at the moment. And for sad reason as well, because if I go to the desk cam, you'll see what looks to be a completely normal Cyclon. But if I take the top section off, where you expect to see my expertly wound wick, I was doing this the other day and pulled it off, and the whole thing came off, and I was left with a big mess. A big mess. So yeah, that's got to be re-wicked again. So, I am officially on the Cobra, and until that's re-wicked. Yes, so that's coming up next week, how to re-wick a Cobra, and I expect it'll be a shorter video because the Cyclon V2, for me, is the most fiddly of my collection. Right now, we're approaching the end of part 1, but in part 2 there's a juice review. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it. iVapour and iVapour Elixir proudly sponsors Smoke to Vape on Saturday. iVapour and iVapour Elixir proudly sponsors Smoke to Vape on Saturday. Yes, welcome to part 2, people. I'm Smoke to Vape, your host for the next hour and a bit. Or bit of an hour, sorry. It's not going to be an hour and a bit because I've already done a bit, so it's only a bit of... Anyway, you get the picture. Coming up now, there's a juice review. Lovely Toby from iVapour, proud sponsor of this show, sent me a tobacco-flavoured e-liquid. Fairly safe bet that I'd like it because it's a slightly nutty tobacco flavour. So without further ado, here's the review. Hi, Andy here with a very quick juice review. Now, I don't know where this rumour has come from, but rumour has it within the vaping community. I'm a big fan of nutty juices. I know, odd. So Toby from iVapour kindly sent me Royal Essences Tobacco Gold. 18 milligrams Royal Essences. He says it's nutty. Let's give it a go. I've got it loaded up on a Kanga M3. These are quite unique little clearomizers. It's got a complete top section that comes off, fill it, put it back in, click it in, and it holds 1.5 ml of juice. Top coil. You can't put a drip tip in them, just don't fit. So I have been vaping this for a couple of days, and it reminds me a lot of flue-cured tobacco. Very nice vapor production. It doesn't say whether it's a PG-VG mix, but looking at the sort of viscosity of the juice, I would say it is 70-30. The bottle has got a needle filler, and when you're dealing with clearizers like this, it does make filling it up rather simple. Also really good vapor production, and it's got a quite a sweet note, so often juices with VG in it are slightly sweeter. Flue-cured tobacco, sweetness, a light hazelnut, and quite smooth, especially on the exhale. Throat hit, only 18 milligrams. There's definitely something there, but quite subtle. 36 would give me a good wallop, but it might just add a slight bitter note to that sweetness. So I think 18 is a pretty good level of nicotine to get the most out of the flavour. The Kanga top coiled M3, good vapor production on stronger juices, really good throat hit, easy to fill. But back to the juice, I would say if you like sweet, slightly nutty tobacco flavours, I would give this a whirl. It is Royal Essence's Tobacco Gold, and it certainly is akin to flue-cured. I'm not getting any sort of ashy taste, so it's not analogy in that respect. I would say it's more the flavour of a golden Virginia flue-cured type tobacco, but again the smell of raw tobacco or tobacco without the burning. So it's inspired by tobacco as opposed to inspired by smoking. That is running at the moment at around 3.2, so I'm going to crank it up to about 4 volts and see if the Kanga can take it. More vapor, less flavour. More throat hit, nose hit on that one, but noticeably less flavour. Still a sweet aftertaste, no burning. Not much of a nose hit, but at 18 milligrams I wouldn't expect one. These cartomizers, clearizers, really do crack through the juice, so 1.5 mil, it's not going to see me through a day. And at 18 milligrams I'm going to be hitting this pretty hard. Right, let's put this up to 4.2. Slight burnt taste, lots more vapor, but you know, well, it's all about finding a balance, isn't it? Flavour over vapor. So there we go. There is Royal Essence's Tobacco Gold, 18 milligrams from iVapour.co.uk, and I would say if you like flue-cured tobacco without any ashy analogy-esque flavours, give it a go. Sweet, golden, lovely. Like a bit more nicotine in it though. And I'm vaping it right now, and I have been for the last couple of days, and yeah, I'll stand by all that. It's been looking after me despite it being 18 milligrams. I've had it at my desk while I've been putting the stuff together for this show, and it's a very pleasant, light, sweet tobacco. if I were to compare it to let's compare it to vampire films, okay? So let's say the Tobacco Gold Royal Essences is a vampire film, and I'm just going to cut to this camera here to illustrate this. And RY6 36 milligrams is a vampire film. I would say that the RY6 in terms of tobacco is darker, broody, and it's got a bit of grrr. So I would say that's sort of let the right one in. That's a vampire movie. That would mean that the Tobacco Gold, if it were a vampire movie, would be maybe Twilight. It's good. It is very, very nice. But it's sort of light, sweet. It's got a place in my vaping world. And it's very refreshing. If you've been hitting something quite hard and dark. This is light and golden and very nice. So there we are. Coming up after this brief break, we've got something very exciting. And we're back. Woo. Echo. See, it even happens when I'm not live. Woo. Anyway, so yes, vaping is fantastic. Vaping is better when you do it with friends. And coming up in March, there's something very exciting coming along. It's the Knees Meet, and here's a little trailer for it. That's the Knees Meet, the Northeastern e-smokers. It's a great day or an evening. It's a fantastic time, and it's there's been a couple, and it's been a great time. Fab. A bit too far away from me, but if I was further up north, then I would certainly be checking it out. Anyway, there's something hanging over our heads, and hanging over my head is the way to sort it out. We all need to write to our MPs and MEPs. If you have, great, fantastic. But if you haven't, don't assume that because other people have, you don't need to. You do. So go to this website. It's right to them. All you do is you put your postcode in there, and it tells you who your local MP and MEP is. It then generates a little web form where you fill in your name and where you live, and you write the email, and your email doesn't have to be complicated and legal. Write to them. You just need to say in your letter that you don't want nicotine and e-cigs to be taken away by the EU. That's it. As simple as that. And then they will be forced to realise that we're not going to be quiet. And we really all do need to get together on this and make a loud, shouty noise. We do. We absolutely do. And relax. Coming up in part 3, we've got a large feature. I spent a day hanging out with another vapor, and that's coming up in part 2. I mean 3. iVapour and iVapour Elixir proudly sponsors Smoke to Vape on Saturday.
Elixir proudly sponsors Smoke to Vape on Saturday.
Yes, grab your favourite vape, sit back and relax and watch me do all the hard work driving to Safercigs. They've got a new store and, well, watch this. I had a great time. For a lot of people, shopping for an electronic cigarette is this. Web-based. But that's changing. Right, so I've just Skyped Darren at Safercigs to say that I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there, but what time I'm going to be there. So I'm setting off, and the GPS, which is also my phone, says that I'm going to be there at 12:45. That's 82 miles. So my wife sort of failed to see why I was so excited about today. Driving 82 miles somewhere just to film something. I said to her, well, I drove 90 miles just to let you back in the house. That was equally pointless. Anyway, I digress. This is very exciting for me because the Southwest hasn't had any local vaping shops. Now I say local, with vaping 80 miles is pretty good considering we predominantly, well I have, all my purchases have been either at a vape fest or online. So it feels like a little mini vape meet with one person and a shop. It's great. I hope all these people aren't going to the same place. Daz, we've got to rush on. If I think back to when I started, vaping has come an awful long way. I know that's obvious to say, but I started with a mini kit which was probably like 49 quid or something. It was very expensive. It came with 2 batteries. It was a little cig-alike which did not work very well. I remember watching a YouTube video from someone called Rusty Lug, and that was probably one of the first videos that I watched. And you know, even then he was modding it with a bit of sellotape, and I just checked out that video before I left, and it's got 1.3 million hits now. So I've gone from that to something like that. That's an MVP with a Kanga MT3. So apart from the fact that it's got lots of more numbers and letters in the title, this sort of journey that I'm doing, or something longer, would have been impossible with that little e-cig. So 3 years later, and I'm driving to an electronic cigarette shop. It's amazing. And it's also slightly ironic that we are just sort of approaching this deadline of the EU. Darren's just bought this shop, he's just set it up, you know. He's obviously invested a lot of time and effort and money and love and everything that we do as vapors. He's got much more invested in it than we do. I mean, the worst thing that can happen to us is that they'll ban it and we'll go back to cigarettes. That is pretty bloody bad. But he loses his job and his income and his, you know, it's massive. It's massive. So I'm going to try and find out as well how he's going to deal with that if the worst were to happen, and also if he's doing anything to try and stop it. So, 30 miles in, another 40 to go. So I'm obviously going there to see Darren's new shop, but I'm also going with a bit of a shopping list as well. Hey, I'm a vapor, what can you expect? I'm going to get a few 18 490s because I've only got one at the moment, and I'm also going to get some more RY6 and some iMist atomizers. They sort of missed me, or I missed them. I missed them. Oh dear. Whoa. 2.5 miles. Good morning, sir. Well, tell us where we are.
We're at Safercigs, new store.
New store.
Or new unit.
And very impressive it is as well. How long have you been open?
Since Monday.
So that's 2 days, 3 days? This is the third day.
Third day.
And business is brisk?
Yes, it's been fantastic. Monday was our busiest day. We had a great day Monday.
So what are you getting today?
I'm getting an Igo L atomizer.
Right. First rebuildable.
It is first one for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a Viva Nova at home, but I've not. I've only just got that a couple of days ago. So this is. I've only stopped smoking a week ago. So.
Wow, getting into rebuildables straight
well,
away.
I did pack up in about 6 months ago, and I had to go then, and I was on the Clearimizers, Vision Egos, and that sort of thing. But yeah, so try and move on a little bit from that. But I've heard these give a really good vapour. So
They do. You need a drip tip with these, though. They don't come with a drip tip.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Drip tip. But these are pre-coiled wicks.
right.
All you need to do with these is just unwind the wick off slightly.
Yeah.
You've got 0.2 ohm Camphor wire, and all you've got to do is unwind the coil off and just connect it to your post.
Right.
Very good little drippers, actually. To be fair.
Yeah. Any recommendations on juices?
There's one that we've just had in which is really, really nice. We've got RY6, and that's a nice tobacco. Well, this man will tell you all about RY6.
That's what's in here at the moment.
Is it?
And that's a nice tobacco flavour.
Yeah.
Strong.
I did try it when I did it previously. I did try one of the RY4s. I can't remember where I got it from, but it just tasted absolutely foul to me.
This is 18 milligram. This one.
Right.
Made by Hangso.
How long have you been up here then?
We opened on Monday.
What? Just literally on Monday up here? Oh right. Have you moved premises or something?
Yeah. We moved into it on Monday. Give that a blast. That's RY4.
That's not too bad. It's better than the one I think.
That's made by Hangso.
And the guy that we saw you dealing with, only too happy to have a real place. I mean, the web shops are fantastic.
You can't beat real customer service though, and playing with the products and seeing the products. Like you've seen, he tested at RY4 Juicy. The last one he tried he didn't like, but this one he tried now, he liked it and bought it. So.
And only been vaping a short amount of time, and getting into rebuildables.
Rebuildables.
Is that the future?
Definitely. It is, isn't it? At the end of the day. Yeah. I mean, the beauty of the twist or the spinners is you can set them at the lowest voltage, put something like a Vision Eagle on there, and just range it. Just keep turning it. vape it, turn it, vape it until you hit your sweet spot. I mean, I could turn around to you and say, my sweet spot's 4.2, for example, and that is my vape range, 4.2 to 4.4. But you could be like 4.4 to 4.6 is your
Everybody's
spot.
got a slightly different taste.
So is this something you're used to, facing the public? Have you had experience in doing this before, or have you been purely web-based in the past?
No, I started Safercigs, started on the market, Saturday markets at Wimborne. We built up a big client base at Wimborne, so much so that I had to hand it over because the website took over. I've now got 2 girls running my store on Wimborne 3 days a week, and that's doing fantastic trade down there. So the markets are very, very good, and now I've got my shop. We're still extremely busy on the website, so we're combining all 3 together now.
Great. And show us around then.
Okie dokie. Well, this is obviously the retail area where the customers are come in and we can chat and they can try products and juices and various different things. This is our returns area, so if we do send a product out, it comes in faulty, they return it to us, it gets booked in here, put away, and immediately new one dispatched. So that's happens the same day it arrives, so there's no delay. This area here will be our telephone order sales, because we're opening up a telephone sales hotline, so we can take orders over the phone and get the orders out that way. My little photographic area to take photos of my products at the moment, but that's going to be moving. And the heart of the Safercigs operation is the picking and packing area. We've got a decent little process and I'll just show you how that works. Orders come in on invoices, and each invoice then is placed into one of these blue trays, where the order will get picked. Once the order's picked, it gets checked, then it gets handed over to Roz, who's in charge of packing, and what she'll do is she'll pack the order by checking it. Once she's checked it, she'll put a stamp on, which is a check stamp, to ensure that the order's correct. It's then packed and then dispatched into the necessary bags, whether it be UK or Europe or first class or whichever way it's going to go. And that's the process we've got going. But down here is obviously where all our stock. We've still got a lot of stock to unpack because we've literally just moved in here, and we're waiting on so many deliveries because obviously January was a mind-blowing month for.
What, because
sales.
of people making New Year's resolutions?
January virtually wiped me out of stock. It was just incredible. But we've got some stock. But as you can see, what will normally happen is all these shelves be full with my starter kits and disposables. You can see the gaps that we've got available now because the stock's all been sold, like the battery chargers, WP6s, WP2s, SP2s. That's full normally, or will be full once we get the stock in. They just fetched out a new one, which I'll be getting delivery in a couple of weeks' time. Digital one, very nice. So I'm looking forward to getting them. All our envelopes. But the beauty is now we've got space. We can pick and pack much more efficiently. Obviously all our e-liquids are here. We've got a lot more to put out there, but that's what we've got on the shelves at the moment. All the monthly special bottles, all my big monthly specials that I do, they're all down there.
So how much is that in there, and what is it you've got in your hand there?
That's RY4 18mg. These are £55 for a 500 gram or 470 millilitres, which is the equivalent of 15.6 30ml bottles.
A good saving.
A massive saving. It's a saving of over £150 on them. And I do different flavours each month. We've got Virginia, apple, menthol, chocolate strawberry, RY4 in at the moment. 50ml of menthol sensation. And these are running out the door, these ones.
So you've only got 50 mils in that flavour, or is that?
No, we do 30 mils. We have the 30ml bottles, but we've just brought on 50 mils because that's the biggest
across
bottles.
the range.
Across the range of these, yeah. These are the first ones we've had in, and these are running out the door. Menthol sensation 50ml. They're £12 for 50ml.
Have you got 50 of RY6?
No, not yet.
Oh.
They're coming. The RY6 is coming.
Okay.
But the 50 mils on the premium range juices, because the RY5, RY6 is classed as a premium juice with Hang Seng. The biggest bottles they'll do them in is 50 mils. They won't do them in the 500ml bottles.
So you're entirely Hang Seng?
Yes. All of these is pure Hang Seng. The reason I stay with Hang Seng is because It's a trusted supplier of e-liquids. It's all fully tested. You can get any testing documentation off them immediately if you need it. You know, it's all. And if you look at the bottles, they do. The design of my labels are all done for me. They even put tactile stickers on for me now. So it's all, and shrink wrap them. So when you get that bottle, it's as it's come from the factory. You know, there's no way that I can interfere with that bottle to put anything else in there or weaken it or thin it down or anything, which we wouldn't do anyway.
So Daz, for the uninitiated vapor, for the new to vaping, this range of stuff is quite daunting. How do you ease someone in to something that can be quite a complex, what seems to be quite complex? How do you get somebody started?
I asked them some leading questions first. I need to find out what their smoking habits currently are. A lot of time I get a phone call and they'll turn around to me, the new customer will say, look, I want to quit smoking. I've seen your website, I've heard about your products, I want to buy one of those e-cigs thingies. So from that you need to find out what their smoking habits are. If they're a light smoker, i.e. they're smoking less than 10 a day, then I know what kind of kits I'm going to recommend or fit them into. If they're a heavier smoker, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 a day, which a lot of people are, then again I'll fit them into different type of kits and recommend different kits to them. A lot of my customers will say, well, I want one that looks like a cigarette, and then when you explain to them that if I sell you a product that looks like a cigarette and you're a 20 a day smoker, within a week you're going to be ringing me up complaining because the batteries are constantly being charged and you're not getting out of it what you want. So I tell them straight away on the phone that I wouldn't advise that, and I won't sell that to them purely on the basis that they're smoking too much. This is what I would recommend. So, but I mean, for the lighter smoker, we've got our disposable range, where I've got two different types of disposables. I've got these ones here, which are 24 milligram. They're not bad. They're quite good actually. But then I've got the Ritchie range. The Ritchie range is exceptional. I've tested hundreds of disposables and settled on the Ritchie because the Ritchie is the disposable of choice for my customers. From there, the normal type of kits that I'd recommend for an average smoker, 15, 20, 25 a day, would be a basic starter kit, which is a Joytech 650 milliamp battery. You get a Vision Ego clearomizer, Joytech USB charger, and on the back they have instructions on the back of how to use the product. That will suffice a lighter smoker, medium smoker, and then we move up the range of the kits. Then we do starter kits, which, for example, this is a stainless starter kit, where the kit's more substantive, but it will last them longer, and they'll get a lot more use out of it. Which means that when they do switch over from cigarettes to electronic cigarettes, it's going to be quite easy for them. With these kits, you get two batteries, USB charger, and two Vision Eagle clearomizers in there, as well as a zip case to keep it all nice and tidy, and some instructions. And these kits are the most successful kits I've got for people switching from tobacco smoking to electronic cigarette smoking.
Now, I noticed you said switching, and that really for us at the moment is key, isn't it? I mean, but you must get a lot of people who phone up and say, I want to use one of those electronic cigarettes to quit.
Yeah, when you'd be surprised at how many phone calls I get about people wanting to quit smoking, and I say to them that you've got to explain to them that when you switch to electronic cigarettes, you're not giving up smoking. All these products contain nicotine. What you're doing is you're switching to a healthier alternative, and I go through about 5 minutes of spiel with them just to explain to them that, you know, you're still taking on board nicotine, you're going to get all the pleasures of smoking, none of the associated problems as in all the carcinogens, toxins and metallics that are contained within tobacco cigarettes. You're going to eradicate that completely out of your life. And then I explain to them the benefits of electronic cigarette smoking. You know, help not just health-wise, but for people around them, second-hand smoke, smell, that kind of thing. Once they fully understand, the more than ever keen to get a product ordered and get it dispatched, which is where we do our very best to get the orders as soon as they come in. We'll get them dispatched and straight out. And I'd say 95% of our orders, which are dispatched the same day, reach the customer the following morning. Electronic cigarettes, the awareness of it now is increasing, and we're seeing that with a massive increase in business, which is great, because the more people that switch to electronic cigarettes, the less of a drain on the NHS it's going to be in the future with you know, heart disease and lungs and all that kind of nasty stuff. So,
Great.
electronic cigarettes, the future.
They certainly are. But, and here's the question, you've just set up this fantastic place, but the future isn't certain at the moment with the EU regulations on the horizon. How are you dealing with that?
Well, I mean, the future's uncertain, but the future's uncertain on liquids, on nicotine. These products, there's absolutely no issue with these whatsoever. We're still going to be able to retail these regardless. The issue comes in where the government or the European Commission saying that we as smokers or as ex-smokers, 4 milligram of nicotine contained within a 30 ml bottle of juice is going to be sufficient for us, which we all know is just clearly not the case. I can't see it going through, and the reason I can't see it going through is because e-cigs now are gathering pace. The awareness of it is growing, not just in the UK but globally. If you take all the vapors in Europe, all the current vapors in Europe, and all the potential new vapors that are hearing about e-cigs and want to go for this, and all the support that we can muster together, then the European Commission are going to look at this and go, well, we could be making a bad move here. I think at least what they're going to do is say that they are going to regulate, because regulation does need to happen, don't get me wrong, and I'm all for regulation, but they need to stage it and do it in such a way that they phase it in, not just in outright ban, because that would just be wrong. People will just go back to smoking. I mean, if I offered you 4 milligram of juice or a packet of 20 Benson Edges, what are you going to do? You're going to go straight to the Benson Edges and you're going to be smoking again. So I can't see it happening. I mean, I'm optimistic and I can't see it happening. If it does happen, then we just have to look at the way in which our business is run. But this will still continue because, for example, e-shisha, 0 milligram. I sell a tremendous amount of e-shisha, an awful lot amount of e-shisha, and that's just flavours. And we've just introduced a range of zero nic juice, which is all double concentrate, specifically for the zero nic market, because that's an increasing market also.
Well, it's quite the job, isn't it? Yeah, that's
Precision made by Cyan Lads.
Yeah.
Did you want 3 or 6?
I'll leave it for now, to be honest, and I'll wait. I will wait. That to me is, I don't need anything else because I've got some regular little batteries.
When you start finding your feet with what you want. I mean, obviously you like your DCC tanks. Finding the right juice then becomes the next hurdle.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to settle on your juice. It really does.
Yeah.
At the moment, my favourite is Grant's Vanilla Custard.
No.
I
can't stand it. I have bought some.
Absolutely love it.
I think you're either in the camp of you love it or you hate it, and then,
Like
to me,
Have you
it's
got it with you?
vile.
Because I'll buy it off you. So now we've had a look around the shop. Daz is going to show us his top 3 sellers.
Okay, my current top sellers in the budget range is my 0 milligram e-shisha sticks. These things are being loved by the public at the moment in the 5 different flavours that they come in. They're selling like hotcakes, and they are producing pretty nice vape and beautiful flavour out of those. In regards to starter kits, what I was saying was for the lower end starter kit would definitely be the Vision Crystal. It's a compact little kit. You get a nice little 400 milliamp Vision Crystal battery on there. You get the Vision Ego, 2 spare mouthpieces, and you also get a host of other goodies with this as well. Apart from instructions, you get a mini lanyard that will attach to the battery, a lanyard to go around your neck, and obviously you've got a USB charger and 2 spare Atties. You stealth vape all day long. Runtime on a battery on that, I mean, that's a 400 milliamp battery, so you're going to get a good 4-hour runtime out of that battery, and that will last a good 4 hours, maybe more.
And the mid-range starter kit.
Best seller mid-range kit we've got is the Vision Ego kit. Without a doubt, this is our most popular seller in relation to new vapors switching over to electronic cigarettes. this is the kit they're going for. And the amount of phone calls and emails that I get with people thanking me that they bought this kit is crazy. With the kit, they get two 650 milliamp batteries, they get the 2 Vision Egos and USB charge lead, as well as a zip case to carry it all in. It's a simple kit to operate, very simple to set up, very easy to get going. You can be up and running with this. When you receive the kit through the door, they can be up and running within 5 minutes on this and be vaping away, and be absolutely surprised at how good it is. The Visions or the CE4s, the CE5s, they're simple, easy, convenient. You know how much juice you've got on them, and they just work. They just work flawlessly.
And how much is that kit?
This particular kit here is $38.99.
Right, so we've had the starter kit, we've had the mid-range kit. What if you're seriously getting into vaping? What cupboard are you going to show us next?
Once they get into vaping, we often find that a lot of vapers then want to go into either variable voltage vaping or go into the mods or rebuildables, and we cater for those as well. We've got a range of products such as the robust 14500 variable voltage. We've got the lava tubes, we've got the telescopes, and I'll just show you a couple of them, which are both small and compact. One takes an 18350 battery, which will probably last about 3 hours, 3 and a bit hours, depending on how you're vaping it. And then we've got the robust, which is variable voltage, and that takes a 14500 battery, which again you get a 3.5 hour run time out of each battery on it. But it's variable voltage vaping, so you can go from 3.2 to 4.8 volts on this without any issues whatsoever.
Now, the guy that came in, I heard you talking about or maybe it was on the phone, finding your sweet spot.
Yeah.
Variable voltage is key to that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, we do what's called a Vision Spinner. Now, with the Vision Spinner, you can go from 3.3 volts all the way up to 4.8 volts. Now, when I said to him, find your sweet spot, what I recommended he do was turn it down to its lowest point with his Vision Ego on there and vape it and see what kind of throat hit and flavour he's getting through it, and then just dial it in. Just keep dialing it up until he reaches the point where he gets the perfect vape for him. Once he's reached that point, then look at the voltage that he's got it set to, and that'll be his sweet spot. And it really is as simple as that with these to get that perfect vape that you want, because everybody's different, taste is different. So, everybody likes a different throat hit, flavour, and with these, it's very, very easy to get it set just perfectly the way you want it.
So to go variable voltage, you don't necessarily have to spend hundreds of pounds.
No, you don't have to spend anywhere near that. Variable voltage, you can go variable voltage for just over £20. I mean, for example, that's a 900 milliamp spinner, and that'll retail at £21 to buy it. So £21 you can try variable voltage at a relatively low cost. Perfect introduction. And you'll find as well, most people, once they've tried variable voltage, they don't go back, because nobody wants to go back to 3.4 volts. I mean, or 3.7 volts. They like the 4 volts above vaping. And
it doesn't have to be massive either, because a lot of people think, variable voltage, you have to have something that resembles sort of a filing cabinet in your top pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, this is what I'm currently using, and this takes an 18650 battery. There is a big difference, a remarkable difference in between the two. You can get just as much enjoyment out of that, in fact probably equal enjoyment out of that as you can out of that.
Fantastic day with Daz at Safercigs, and as you will have seen, people walking through the door buying e-cigs, all friendly, all wanting the advice and able to get it face to face with someone who's really enthusiastic and really optimistic as well about the future of vaping. Absolutely fantastic. I keep saying fantastic, I'm just in such a good mood. It's been a really great experience, and I haven't been that close to that much vaping stuff. I did buy a bit. Daz also was very kind enough to give me some stuff that he's trialling that's going to end up in his store, so those will be on later shows. Now I'm going to drive back enthused. $4:30, I'm heading back to Bristol.
and it's saying I will be home at 6:15 in the evening, just in time for dinner. Yay! I did get the chance to fill up an eye mist. So I'll be putting this through its paces over the next couple of days, because if you've joined this show halfway through, you might realise it's not a normal show because I'm sort of out and about, and also this weekend that you're watching this, Saturday, is my birthday weekend. So sadly I'm not with you in body, but I'm there in spirit, and I hope you're enjoying the show. God knows what it's like, I haven't put it together yet. So yeah, great day with Daz. Safercigs.co.uk, check them out. And if you're in the area or even fancy a little bit of a drive, pop down. You're sure for a lovely time. He's got lots of good stuff, and he's really knowledgeable about vaping. You know, he started on the market stalls, started using e-cigs, and then saw that he could sell them. He can sell them because he's enthusiastic and he knows what he's talking about. Ran out of breath then. I'm going to stop talking, I'm going to drive, listen to some music, vape on the eye mist on the MVP at about 3.8 volts. Seems to be working well now. Hopefully it'll get me home. Lovely.
And it was lovely to hang out with Daz. I said it in the VT and I'll say it again. It's so nice to be able to walk into a store. Web shopping's fine and we're all very used to it as vapors, but it's great news having an e-cig store in the southwest that is, you know, making a bit of a day of it, and because it is 70 miles for me, but it's very nice to be able to pop into a shop. It's great. And I know I said it before, but if you want that to stick around and be the future of vaping, write to your MP and MEP. You know how to do it. You know how to do it. So my time is swiftly running out. It has gone whoosh really quickly. Apologies for not being live, but I thank you in chat for watching. And as I said, I'm probably having a curry right now, celebrating my birthday. Next time I'll see you next week, I'll be 37. Yeah. Well, as I like to think, I'll be 3.7 volts. No, we're all variable voltage. Why am variable voltage? 37. Right, so if I cut to this camera, you'll see what is coming up next week. A whole heap of stuff, some of which is from Daz at Safercigs. Yeah, so also I've got some more juices coming in. So next week there will be a whole heap of juices being reviewed and talked about. But until the post arrives, I can't guarantee what it'll be, but pretty sure it will be nutty. Right, you've been fantastic. I've been Smoke to Vape. This has been the SOS show. Please tune in next week. Coming up on Sunday, that's tomorrow for you guys, is Dave Kitson and his tackle box. Coming up in the end credits, there's a list of all our shows coming up. Thanks for watching. Where are the credits? There are the credits. Bye!
iVapour and iVapour Elixir proudly sponsors Smoke to Vape on Saturday.